Hello, my friends. We have some shocking news coming out of the NFL today, and it involves none other than one of the league's top wide receivers, and it could be a very good thing for the Baltimore Ravens. Let me explain. Before you go any further, make sure you've hit the like button if you think we're going to win the next game against the Browns. The way we're going to crush them. If possible, write it like this: Go Ravens, let's make it to the Super Bowl. Word on the street is that the Los Angeles Rams are actively shopping Cooper Kupp, yes, Cooper Kupp, and they've been reaching out to multiple teams, including our very own Baltimore Ravens. Now here's where it gets really wild. The Rams aren't just trying to offload him, they're even willing to eat some of his 2024 salary. And all they want in return is a second-round pick. Imagine that, Kupp, one of the best receivers in the game, possibly in purple and black. How would that even look? Now I know what some of y'all are thinking. We already got Rashad Bateman making moves out there. Oh, trust me, I see it, and I love it. Zay Flowers, the kid's been electric. But let's be real, Flock. Could it hurt to get even stronger at wide receiver? Especially if the Rams are covering part of his salary? Come on now, it's worth considering. I mean, Kupp could bring a ton of experience and route-running expertise to our offense, even though he's more like an experienced version of Bateman than a big-bodied receiver. And honestly, if you ask me, what we really need is one of those jump ball guys, someone who can give Lamar Jackson that go-up-and-get-it option in those clutch moments. Sure, Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely are already doing some of that work, but having an outside target like that could be a game-changer. That said, we can't ignore the elephant in the room, which is our defense. Look, I know the defense has been struggling lately. We've all seen it. Offensive players are getting too much space, and it's not because we don't have the talent. In my opinion, it's the scheme that's holding us back. Guys are being put in tough positions and aren't able to maximize their potential. I know some of you are calling for major changes on the defensive side, and I hear you, but we've got to be realistic about what can be done in season. Zach Orr isn't going anywhere. He's been with the Ravens as a player and a coach, and they're not about to cut ties with him mid-season. But still, we need answers. Speaking of defense, there's another rumor heating up that's just as big as Kupp's. The Browns are reportedly willing to part ways with Za'Darius Smith, and the Ravens have been making some calls. Now, if you remember, we almost had Smith back a couple of years ago before he decided to go elsewhere. So, could this be his return to Baltimore? The Ravens are sniffing around, along with the Detroit Lions and Washington Commanders, so this could turn into something serious. But let me throw this at you. If we're already talking to the Browns about Za'Darius, why not ask them about Myles Garrett while we're at it? Garrett is one of the best defensive players in the league, and you know he's not happy with how things are going in Cleveland. Imagine if we could somehow pull that off. It's a long shot, but it's not impossible. Now let's circle back to the offense real quick. You've seen what Derrick Henry has done for us, right? He's given this Ravens run game even more power, and it's paying off big time. The numbers don't lie. In just 7 games, Henry has more rushing yards than any Ravens back not named Mark Ingram has had in a full season since Lamar Jackson became our QB. That's insane. And just because we're good at something doesn't mean we can't get even better at it. The same logic applies to our wide receiver core. So, Flock, this is where I need your input. What do you think about all these trade rumors? Would you want to see Cooper Kupp in Baltimore? Or would you rather we focus on bolstering the defense with someone like Za'Darius Smith, or even taking a swing for Myles Garrett? And don't forget, even though we're talking about adding new players, we've already got some standout performances on the team. Ronnie Stanley, for example, has been lights out protecting Lamar, and his stats prove it. No pressures, no sacks. That's exactly what we need to keep our offense firing on all cylinders. All right, Ravens flock. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think about these trade rumors and where you think we need to strengthen the most as we make our push for the postseason. Are you Team Kupp or Team Defense? Or maybe both? Let's talk about it. You won't believe the big roster news coming out of Baltimore today, and it's something we've been waiting for. Arthur Maulet is officially back on the 53-man roster, activated from injured reserve, and that's huge for this secondary. We knew it was coming, but now it's official. With Marlon Humphrey's status still in the air, having Maulet back couldn't have come at a better time. We're expecting an update from John Harbaugh soon. But hey, based on what we've seen from Marlon's social media, he's looking good. No cast, no limp, so fingers crossed, Ravens fans. But let's get back to Arthur Maulet. This guy isn't just filling a spot, he's got real experience. Whether he's stepping in as a starter or a slot corner, he's a veteran who knows how to play under pressure. He's also one of those blitzing corners who brings that extra element to the defense. You've got to love a corner who can rush the passer, and Mollett gives us more versatility in the secondary. And with Nate Wiggins and others continuing to develop, having someone like Mollett back adds a solid layer of depth. If Marlon isn't 100%, Mollett's return might be exactly what this defense needs to keep the wheels turning. Now let's talk about the Ravens' secondary for a second. We all know it's been a rough ride lately. Our defense, especially in the pass game, hasn't been living up to the expectations. But the good news is, it's not a talent problem. Look at the players we have. Marlon Humphrey, Arthur Mollett, Brandon Stevens, and Nate Wiggins. These are guys with real talent. The issue has been more about the scheme and communication. This is where Mollett's experience could be the game changer. The Ravens don't need to ease him back in. He's been around long enough to jump straight into the action, and that's exactly what this secondary needs.
If you're a Ravens fan, you know we've been dropping some easy picks lately. Whether it's Nate Wiggins or Ardarius Washington, we've seen some missed opportunities. And even Marlon, yes, Mr. I've got the best hands on the team himself, has had his moments. But with Mollett back in the lineup, we've got another experienced set of hands in the mix, and that might just be what helps this defense start capitalizing on those chances. And speaking of depth, we haven't even seen TJ Tampa hit the field yet. The depth is there. It's about getting these guys in rhythm and executing. Looking ahead, the Browns are next on our schedule, and it looks like we'll be facing either Jameis Winston or Dorian Thompson-Robinson at quarterback. Let's be real, neither of them should be lighting up our defense. The Browns are struggling right now. They've lost their starting QB, and they've been having issues across the board. But that also makes them dangerous, right? A team with nothing to lose can be unpredictable. We can't afford to let them hang around. This is the perfect chance for the Ravens to build some defensive momentum and regain confidence, especially after winning 5 straight games. The offense has been firing on all cylinders, but it's the defense that needs to step up, and Arthur Mollett's return could be a key part of that. This game also gives the defense a real shot at re-establishing its dominance. While the Browns' offense is shaky, they've still got playmakers like Amari Cooper and a solid running game. It's critical for our defense to come out strong, set the tone early, and not let this wounded Browns team gain any confidence. If we can lock them down early, it could be a long day for Cleveland. Ravens fans, what do you think? How much of an impact will Arthur Mollett make now that he's back on the active roster? Do you trust our depth in the secondary, or do you think the defensive scheme needs a major overhaul? Let me know in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, stay flocked up.